What does it mean to be in the limelight? What is a limelight? How did it endanger the life of the Prince of Wales? Who made the movie called Limelight? Which teenage poet wrote a book by this name? All this and more coming up. But first, do subscribe to The English Nut on YouTube, Instagram, Facebook and Twitter. Thanks. A limelight is a type of light that used to be used to highlight actors on a stage. It served the same purpose as the spotlight of today. The limelight has gone out of use, but the word still survives. When we say someone is in the limelight, we mean that the person is in the public eye. In the theatrical sense, it means that an actor is in the spotlight. The limelight has nothing to do with the sour fruit called lime. It derives its name from the mineral called lime. Now for a bit of chemistry. Calcium oxide, also known as quicklime, is produced by heating calcium carbonate, which in plain English is limestone. When quicklime is heated to a very high temperature, it glows with a white light. This is known as limelight. A mixture of oxygen and hydrogen are burned through a blowpipe to produce the temperature required to make the quicklime glow. This process can produce really high temperatures, and care must be taken to keep the temperature below 2572 degrees, the melting point of quicklime. Before the invention of the limelight, gaslight was used to light up the stage and the rest of the theatre. But even when many gas lights were used, the illumination was dim, nothing like the incandescence of the limelight. The limelight was first used in the theatre in Covent Garden in London in 1837. This beautiful bright light was a hit, and its use gradually spread to theatres and music halls all over the world. Before I tell you why the era of the limelight came to an end, let me give you some examples of how to use the phrase "in the limelight" figuratively in a sentence. Ranveer has been in the limelight ever since his first film. The award-winning scientist didn't like being in the limelight, so he refused to interact with the press. Social media influencers bask in the limelight that was previously reserved for Bollywood stars. Now that the designer is a hit in Milan, he has no choice but to be in the limelight. While the limelight was an asset for theatre, it was also a fire hazard. Many theatres burned down as a result of its use. In 1882, the Prince of Wales nearly died in a fire at the Royal Alhambra Theatre in London. Not surprisingly, once the far safer electric lights became available in the late 19th century, the use of the limelight was discontinued. The limelight was also known as the calcium light and the Drummond light. The latter name comes from the surname of Thomas Drummond, a Scottish civil engineer who used it in his work as a surveyor. He lit up mountain tops with limelight when the weather was dull, so he could see them clearly from miles away. Besides this surveying application, the limelight had a couple of other non-theatrical uses. It was used in lighthouses so that ships could see them from far away. It was also used in certain wars to blind the opposing army. Let's talk about a few people who have had their share of the limelight in their lives. Charlie Chaplin spent most of his life in the limelight, in the idiomatic sense. He also acted in a film titled Limelight. The movie was based on a novella he had written called Footlights. In Limelight, Chaplin plays a comedian who's seen better days. The comedian stops a suicidal dancer played by Claire Bloom from killing herself. One can see from the plot that the film is about the dark side of being in the limelight. When the movie was released in 1952, it was boycotted in America because of Chaplin's alleged communist sympathies. When it was re-released in 1972, it won Chaplin an Oscar. Given that he was born in 1899, this means that Chaplin was basking in the limelight even at age 73. One of the youngest poets to enjoy the limelight is Australian Solly Raphael. He started writing poetry at age 9 and at age 12 competed against adults to win the National Australian Poetry Slam at the Sydney Opera House. A poetry slam is a lively competitive event where poets perform spoken word poetry before a live audience. And what, you ask, is spoken word poetry? This is how the Poetry Foundation describes it. Characterized by rhyme, repetition, improvisation and wordplay, spoken word poems frequently refer to issues of social justice, politics, race, and community. They are usually performed rather than merely recited at public events. Solly published his first book at age 13. Its title? Limelight. Do you have dreams of being in the limelight? As we have seen, one way of getting there is by becoming an actor. I should mention though that not every actor enjoys being in the limelight. French actress Audrey Tautou has said, "It might seem paradoxical given my profession, but I'm not someone who likes to be in the limelight." Going by Solly Raphael's example, being a champion spoken word poet is a route to getting into the limelight at a young age. American writer Lowell Thomas would agree, given his belief about good speakers. He said, "The ability to speak is a shortcut to distinction. It puts a man in the limelight, raises him head and shoulders above the crowd." Solly, of course, didn't wait to become a man to be in the limelight. These are just a few approaches to being in the limelight. You could be in the limelight by excelling in whatever your chosen profession is. Best wishes on whichever path you choose. Meanwhile, do come up with a sentence using the idiom and write it in the comments section. I'm the English Nut. Bye for now.